Without writing a single line of code, I'm going to build an entire web application only using AI tools. So you don't need to learn how to code. You don't need to know any of the tech side. Without knowing that, we'll be building an entire web application. And on the process of doing so, I'm going to teach you scratch by scratch how to do it yourself. So for this, I'll be using three main platforms. That is Google Gemini. This is the platform that I'll be using in order to build the front end of the application. And I'll be using ChatGPT. This is where I will get my prompts. I will generate ideas, basically just for those kind of stuff. And I'll be using n8n in order to build the back end of this workflow that runs the entire web application. So let's get started. I'm just going to go to ChatGPT. So what I'm thinking is I'll build a web application that analyzes any customer feedbacks and presents out insights, next steps to do, and some trends and ways to improve, things like that. So I'm going to be building that for an AI automation agency. And okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to prompt ChatGPT in order to generate me some ideas, some questions, some logic behind it, so that we could get started. So let me just prompt ChatGPT. So I'm thinking of building a web application using Google Gemini. So this web application will basically be a customer survey analytics application. So it will basically show me the trends, the insights, and the actionable steps on how to improve the service of an AI automation agency. So I'll be collecting the feedback using Google Forms, and I'll be using OpenAI in order to analyze them and present them in a dashboard and get some insights, trends, analytics, and everything. So this is the basic web application that I want to develop. I want you to write me 5 to 7 questions to ask customers for feedback about a service provided by an AI automation agency. So I just prompted ChatGPT to give me some questions so that I could use that questions on Google Forms, and I could build a survey form that the customer or client fills out. And based on those answers, we will create a web application that analyzes them and gives out the next step that we can work on. So this kind of web application is going to be a very good, insightful application for any business that needs a lot of customer survey, customer service, basically how it goes. So, okay, so we are going to get started off by using a Google form. So what we are going to do is we can just name it client survey. And we could write this is a survey for client feedback. This is just a description. So I believe it pulled out some information from here, some questions. So the question, so okay, let's put this as the first question. So let's do this. The name of the company, we could write the name of the company so that we know which company gave us what kind of feedback. Short answer is good. And we'll paste another question over here. On the scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with AI automation service we delivered? So the scale is 1 to 10, 1 being very bad, 10 being very good. So this is what the client will fill out. Let me see another questions. To what extent did our AI automation solve the specific problem you hired us? So we'll just copy that. We're just building a form right now to collect customer survey. And we'll see check boxes over here. And I think it gave us multiple choices. Fully solved it. Okay, it's right here. Fully solved it. The option is mostly solved it. Another option is partially solved it. Did not solve it. Okay, so this is another question that we just created, and let me see another one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna copy this and put another question. I'm gonna put it as a paragraph here and required. So I'm just gonna do that for all the questions. Just build out a survey form first. So okay, I filled out all the questions. I have 7 questions here. I want my clients to fill out this question so that I could get a response. And I'll just publish this. And let me store the response to Google Sheet so that I could use that Google Sheet on the back end to see what response I have got and like basically analyze, implement those on the front end of the application. So I'm just going to create a new spreadsheet. Let's say customer survey. Okay, so this is the sheet that it created. So once a customer answers, responds to the question here, it fills out the answer over here. And we could use those answers in order to analyze and see what we could improve, what we could do. Now after this, what I want to do is I am going to again prompt ChatGPT to write me a meta prompt to generate the front end of the application. So based on these 7 questions, I'll be analyzing the answer from those questions using an OpenAI model and after performing a very good analysis about everything that could be done, I will display that on the front end of the web application. Write me a meta prompt that I can give to Google Gemini Canvas in order to generate a front end for this customer survey web application. So I'm just going to say that first and see what it responds with, because I need to prompt Google Gemini in order to create me the front end of the web application. So let's see what it did. You're a senior product, get into front end UI for customer survey analytics. Yes. The app ingests customer feedback collected via Google Form. Okay, the core goal. Wow, satisfied. How problems? What is working well? What needs improvement? What actions? So yes, this is what the web application should display me. So this is clean, modern SaaS design, similar to Stripe, Notion. Okay. Header. There should be header, overview, dashboard, transactions, key insights, and I also want to say. Use tables or charts or graphs wherever it's required or wherever it can, so that it's visually more attractive to look at the front end of the web application, because it's always better to have a table or chart, so that it looks visually pretty good. Okay, I think this should be good. Okay, let's just copy the code for now. Let's copy this prompt and let's put it on. Now it's time to go to Google Gemini, and once you go log in and use the tools, use Canvas. We're going to be using Canvas in order to build the front end. So let me just paste the prompt given by ChatGPT and let me see what it gives. We could always modify what we need and what we don't. But what I want to do is write me an HTML. I don't want any Python or React codes. I want an HTML so that it's easier for me to understand. It's easier to host and so on. Okay, let me do that. Okay, we just gotta wait a couple of minutes. It started writing the code. It's being generated right here. Okay, there we go. So let me see what it gave out. So I don't need any of this side trends. Let me click on trends. What it's gonna show? It's not gonna click or see anything. I don't need this side. I just need the front end. So let me write remove the sidebar. Okay, so this is what we got. Okay, we have overall sentiment, business impact, satisfaction trend, operational ROI breakdown. Okay, so there's too much things over here. So what I'm gonna do again is I'm gonna go to ChatGPT and ask, like, once we get the question answered. For example, we are gonna copy this because these are the questions that's gonna be answered, and I'm gonna say, so these are the questions that a customer will answer, and we'll use an open AI to analyze all this answer and then provide some insights, some feedbacks, and some actions to do. I only need these three things in the web application for now. Okay, let's just see. Okay, I'll just press C because I'll only need 3 or 4 things down. Okay, I'll just copy this because I need insights, feedback, and actionable recommendations only. We are going to make it simple because the more the data over here, the more things we'll need to collect, more analysis needs to be done, and that requires a lot of extra work. For now, we're just going to stick with some basic ones. So okay, yeah, we're going to copy that, and we're going to say, and again, it's going to go ahead and do these strings. Okay, so this is pretty much what we have. So it gave out AI insights, gave out actionable recommendations, gave out feedback. Now, what we want to do is we have the front end ready. This is just the front end. We need a back end. And we'll be building that using Anytend. So we just go to Anytend, open a workflow. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to add in a webhook to connect it with the front end that we just made. We're going to get this and we're going to say using the respond to webhook node. So once the webhook runs, it's going to get the rows of the seat. Let me add in the customer survey. It's going to get that one. And let me execute the steps. Okay, now to test this, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to delete this and I'm just going to add a trigger manually node for now so that I could get the data right now. So it's empty, nothing's over there. So what we are going to do is we're going to just fill out the form and see what it pulls out. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this and I'm just going to fill out the form. Name of the company, AI Amplify Automations. On the scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you? I'm satisfied 8. Let's say mostly solved it. What impact has automation saved me? Saved me $4,000 this month on expenses. That's what I'm gonna say. How's maintaining information? It's been okay. Communication was okay. What want to improve? Improve on our service communication and automation training. I'm just gonna put it right here. What additional automation or improvements would you like to help in the future? I would like an automation that not only saves me money but also makes me money. I'm just gonna say that, and I'm just gonna submit this form. So once any client or any customer submits this form, the data will be recorded over here. Okay, now we have the data. We are going to go ahead and again execute this step. You see, so it pulled out all the information right here. Now what we are going to do is we are going to use OpenAI in order to analyze those and give us out the analysis feedback. Let's use GPT-4. Okay, now I need to write in the prompt for it to analyze. So I'm just going to go back to ChatGPT, and what I'm going to say is, write me a meta prompt that I can give to an AI agent that takes the answer of all these questions and then generates insights, feedbacks, and actionable recommendations. Based on the answer that was provided by the customer, it gives out those results. So I'm going to say that. So, and it's going to write me a meta prompt that I can use for any AI agent. Okay, I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, I'm just copy this and I'm going to paste it over and see what it wrote down. Okay, and so inside feedback automation, do not hallucinate, do not add generic advice. Okay, input data. So we will input the data of this from here. Name of the company comes from here. Satisfaction score comes from here. Problem solution fit comes from here. Business impact comes from here. Ease of use comes from here. Communication quality comes from here. Improvement suggestions comes from here. And then the additional automation comes from here. So we provided everything this this AI needs in order to analyze and gives out a result. So its core objective is identify patterns, trends, and do that. Insight short and clear. Insight should be a answer what is working well, what is feedback. It gives out feedback, external recommendations, analysis rule. Given out analysis rules. At output tone is pretty good. Okay, so let's execute that and let's see what it gives out. Okay, it gives out insights. Okay, give out insight, actionable feedback themes, and gives out actionable recommendation. So pretty good. But what we need is we need these three things in three different answers. No, it's not giving what I wanted. So what I can do is I can just copy this, and instead of using an OpenAI node, I'm going to use an AI agent so that it gives out output based on what I need. So I'm going to give the same prompt to the AI agent here. It's basically the same prompt that I copied from AI. So what I'm going to do, is I'm going to say require specific output format, and I'm going to add an output parser so that I get what I want. I am going to copy this. I just need this. This is the one that I need. I'm just going to copy this and paste it over here. So I think that, and let me add chat model. Yeah, GPT 4.1 mini should be good. Now let me execute that. So instead of an OpenAI model node, I added an AI agent so that it gives me the specific output that I want. I need three different answers, not just one. I don't need just one answer with insight, feedback, and everything. I need three answers. Okay, it gave out three ads. Perfect. So it gave out insights, gave out feedback theme, gave out action level recommendation. This is exactly what I wanted. So what we are going to do next is we are going to go to Google Sheet and create another sheet over here. We are going to put in the title. We need insights, feedback theme, and action level recommendation. So let me just insights, feedback theme, and then actionable insights. Okay, so we are going to save those over here on this Google Sheet. So after this, what we need to do is we need to save this data on the Google Sheet. So we'll call the seat. We'll just get rows in the seat first. This is the seat that we need, and this is the seat, and we'll just get the rows. Okay, we don't have anything in here, but now we are gonna again get Google Sheets and update row in a seat. So we are gonna choose our seat from here, and that's a seat. So we are gonna match it by row number. So this is the one that we need to match over here. But since it doesn't have any row, we have nothing to match on. We could just so this is the insight. Let me just add the insights first. Insights, feedback theme, and external recommendation. And we are going to use row number, but since we don't have any row number over here, maybe we could like put out S over here for now so that we could pull that data over there. Let me do that again. Okay, pulled out, and what we can do is we can use this row number over here. And let me erase that S as well. I just did it to pull out the data over there. Let's execute that. Okay, now it has saved everything over here. Let me take this out. I don't need this column. So it saved all the actionable insights, the feedback, the insights over here on the Google Sheet. Now what we are going to do is we're going to pull this information out and display it over here. So to do that, we are going to use webhook again to respond back, respond to webhook. So this is going to respond by all incoming items, all the items, the insights, the feedback, the actionable insights that we have. It responds with that. Let me say execute. Okay, so so we need to, what we need is we need a webhook over here in order for this webhook to respond. We just put the execute workflow because we wanted to build the workflow first. So let me go ahead and add in the webhook. Webhook respond using this. Okay, so okay, over here, and we connect this and we see. Okay, I think that should be good now. It's executing. Let's see if this workflow runs or no. Okay, it responded with everything that it pulled out. So this workflow, the backend is all set. We're just gonna save it, and we are now gonna use the webhook. We are gonna copy this, and we are gonna go to Google Gemini, and we're gonna say, whenever the run analysis button is pressed, this webhook should be triggered. And we are also going to say, and it will pull out information such as insights, any feedback theme, and what was that? Actionable recommendation. ACTIONABLE. Those data should be then displayed in the respective section of this web app. So we are going to say that. So every time this button is pressed, the webhook should be triggered. It should pull out all the information, and it should use that data, and it should display it over here. So let's just press enter. We're just going to have to wait for this to build everything. Okay, I think it already linked to that. It doesn't have any data over here, as you can see. So what we are going to do is we're going to press this button and see if it pulls out the data. But first, what we need to do is we need to execute this workflow. Since this is not active, it is inactive for now. I need to execute it manually to get the data from here. So let's just execute the workflow and see what happens. Let's just press run analysis. So once the button is pressed, this workflow is called. So we're just going to wait and see what the data it pulls out. Sync error. So there was some kind of error. It says it needs a JSON structure following these keys. Let me just see. Copy this and go ahead and paste this. It says you can now trigger this analysis as long as n8n webhook returns a JSON structure following these keys. What does that mean, and what does the webhook need to return? Okay, so it needs a basic JSON structure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go to n8n, and before responding to the webhook, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in another node, another AI agent. Okay, that's defined below. So what I'm going to do to this AI agent is I'm going to say your task is to return a JSON for these inputs. Insights is this insights. Feedback theme. This is the feedback theme. And actionable. What was the other thing that we needed? Actionable recommendations. Actionable recommendations is this. Output. So this is what it needs to output. And let me say require specific output. Go to output parser. Okay, this, and let me see if this works. Okay, this gave out pretty good results. Okay, now let's execute this. Let's save this first. Let's execute this and let's run analysis. Okay, so the webhook has performed pretty good. It gave out the observation 2, observation 3. So it gave out the score, it gave out customer satisfaction history, gave out actionable recommendations, enhance UX, improve communication, revenue automation R&D. So it needs to work on this. This is the feedback, ease of use is very low. So what is actionable recommendation? Enhance UX and interface, develop. So this basically ran successfully. Now every time a customer fills out this form, okay, so fills out this form, the answer is saved in the response, and then once the run analysis button is pressed, it runs this backend and then updates it accordingly. So if even if we have like 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 customer response, it's going to pull out everything and it's going to give out these insights based on that. So a fully working web application is running perfectly as we need. So this is the front end, this is the back end. We can always host this online and run this web app. So just using AI without writing a single line of code, I just built a web application that gives out AI insights, actionable recommendation, and feedback for any customer survey form. This can be used for any business in order to work on their service provision, their products, or anything. So this is a basic simple example of how to build a web application without writing a single line of code. You can play around with different things. You can generate your own ideas. You can create your own workflows and then start building a web application without writing a single line of code. You don't need to be a tech expert. As you can see, yeah, we had some errors. We went on and we fixed it, but we have a running web application right in front of you. We can change this as we want. We can remove this. We can add some other things. We can tell it to write more detailed version of this, and so on. So this is how you build a web application without writing a single line of code using just a few AI tools. I'll be coming up with more videos more frequently, teaching you how to use AI in order to build these kind of web application, automation, AI agents, and even little AI hacks and tips and tricks in order to boost your efficiency, grow your revenue, and so on. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll be learning a lot about AI through the videos that I've been posting here every single week. So I'll see you in the next one.